So, before we start today's Q&A, I'd like to mention that I just ate at Taco Bell because everybody cares. Well, this must explain why my headlight isn't working, or this side. I think this plugs into the headlight. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say this goes into your headlight, and maybe that's why it just came undone. So announcement number 1, Cars and Coffee is coming up, I think, in 2 weeks, I believe. When Cars and Coffee rolls around, I know I get a couple people that ask me if I'm going, and I will be at Cars and Coffee next month, which is in technically 2 weeks. So there's that. Number 2, follow me and Miss Minnesota on Instagram. I will link both of our Instagrams in the description, so follow us. Alright, AlphaToxin asks, if I was suddenly the top moto vlogger, which probably won't happen, but if it somehow did, if I somehow woke up one morning with one more subscriber than Do It With Dan, would it change me as a person, like who I am? And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. It ain't gonna change me. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna still be me. I'm gonna keep putting up the videos I still put out, if that makes any sense. But the answer is no. Gaming Heaven asks, oh, he has 2 questions. I'll put the 2 up. So his first question was, do I repair my own bike, or do I have a mechanic repair it for me? And the answer is yes and no. 90% of the time I do it all myself. If I don't have the tools or patience, I'll take it to a mechanic. But his other question was, would I rather hug a cactus or have a toothpick put in my, like, under my toenail and then, like, kick a wall? And the answer is hug a cactus, and here's why. Let me tell you this. There are cactuses out there, other than those, that aren't so, like, prickly. Like, they're kind of not so, like, prickly. I think I read somewhere that there are certain cactuses out there that are kind of more, they're kind of smooth-ish, like, not so many needles. So I'm gonna go with hug a cactus. Agent Cox, he asks, what tips would I give for aspiring motovloggers, like as far as editing goes? And I'll do my best to answer it. I haven't really been doing this that long. I think almost 6 months I've been motovlogging, I want to say. I think the tip I would give is, I know when I first started motovlogging, I would barely cut anything. If you go back and watch my, I don't know, maybe first few moto vlogs, they were long, like really long. Like my very first one was like a raw. It was like 20 minutes of me just talking, just straight. I barely cut anything out. So the tip I would give to new motovloggers is keep it short and sweet, you know, like anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. I think his other question was, if looking back, was there anything I would have known when I first started? But to answer that second question, is yes, there is. And that relates to the answer I gave for number 1. As I'm just going to say it straight out. When you first start motovlogging, nobody is going to want to sit there and watch you for 20 minutes. So when I first started, mine were really long. And, you know, I was kind of new to the whole editing thing and stuff. So, you know, I know a lot of those bigger vloggers were like, you know, do like, you know, 15-minute vlogs or whatever. So I'm like, oh, people want to see longer vlogs. So I did longer ones when I first started out. But I kind of wish I would have known to keep it more short and sweet. That's a tip I want to give for new motovloggers, and that's one thing I probably wish I would have known earlier. And Minnesota For You asks, how cool is Minnesota For You? Well, let me tell you, he's a pretty cool guy. He's kind of the coolest. David Miller, I think he's got 2 questions. I'm going to try to remember him here. One of his questions was, do I like off-roading? Like, would I get like a quad, dirt bike, or a supermoto? And the answer is, I would get a supermoto. I would like to get a supermoto one of these days. And then I believe his other question was, what's my favorite sport, and did I ever play any growing up? And the answer is, my favorite sport, all-time favorite sport, is hockey. I love hockey. Being that I'm from Minnesota, I love hockey. I love the Minnesota Wild. That's my team. But I also love football too. I like to watch football. And my favorite team's the Arizona Cardinals. Go Cards. I played when I was, I don't know, in first grade maybe. I played soccer for a year. Hated that. I played basketball and football. I played basketball I started in elementary school, and I played basketball all the way through till I graduated high school. And I played football in junior high and in high school. All right, Emma Shields has 3 questions. Who or what made you start motovlogging? And this is a long story, kind of, or I could babble on about this for like a vlog, but I'm just going to give you the highlights. It was about 3 years ago, almost, when I was 17. I came across this guy's channel. He had 2 motovlogs, and I'm like, wow, this is like really cool. So I YouTube motovlogs, came across Jake the Garden Snake, watched him, then I found Double T90T, and then I found Yummy R6 from Double T90T, and I pretty much just watched Yummy R6 for the longest time. So he kind of inspired me to get my own bike, and then what inspired me to motovlog wasn't just him. It was a bunch of other people that wanted me. I've been riding for almost 2 years, and I wanted to start motovlogging when I got this bike, but I just didn't. So I'd say there was a handful of people that had a say in that, or like that made me want to motovlog. Not have a say, but that made me want to. So I think your second question was, why did I choose the gear that I have? I'm obviously not wearing a lot. I got gloves and I got a sweatshirt. But the reason why I chose my gear is because it's cheap. I'm a college student, and I don't need to be buying the $600 showy helmets or something. And the third question was, how did I get my name? I went over this, I think, in my very first or second motovlog. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But I went over it, how I got it, and I will go over it when this light turns green, because I just hate sitting at red lights and making a video, because it's just so boring, because I'm not riding, I'm sitting there, I'm just looking at the light. So one of my favorite shows is Nathan For You. It's a show on Comedy Central. I'm not going to explain it what it is. If you want to know what it's about, just YouTube Nathan For You, and then you'll find out what it's about. But that's one of my favorite shows, Nathan For You. And I'm sitting there when I made my channel, like, what should I call myself? I'm like, well, my favorite show is Nathan For You. I am from Minnesota, so I took out the Nathan and I put Minnesota in there, hence the name. So that's where I got Minnesota For You. Pepper Dog Pepper Dog asks, what's your favorite emoji? And tell us what's an embarrassing story. So my favorite emoji is the little smiley face that's blowing the kisses, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I like to send those emojis to Miss Minnesota because I love her. So that's my favorite emoji. And I will tell you an embarrassing story. So I was in 7th grade, and I had gym class. So I went and I got into my gym clothes, and when I was in junior high, when we had gym, we had to go to the locker room, change into our gym uniform. Even though I went to a public school, we still had to wear like we were given like the school like the T-shirt with the school name on it, and then we had to wear shorts. So that was it. And I think me and one of my friends, we were just kind of just walking around, we were just standing around, just talking. And all of a sudden, someone in my gym class comes up behind me and he pantses me. So my pants are on the ground. It's more funny than embarrassing, but I was kind of embarrassed at the time. So he came up behind me and he pantsed me, and everybody could see my boxers. Shaded Blinds asks, would I rather have a crappy looking fast R1 or a nice looking but slow R6? Now if that's how it worked, if the crappier your bike looked, the faster it was, the better it looked, the slower it was, then in that case, my R6 would be as fast as a Hayabusa. Probably even faster. Probably as fast as a jet bike! But I don't have to go with the crappy R1 that's fast, because I like speed and power.